So there's very few people rooting for these kids. Most of these kids are just problems for other people. Their parents typically are happy they're leaving because they get a break from these kids.
Our city needs us, and people need to receive the Holy Ghost and need to be saved and live an overcoming life.
And a lot of times kids are in environments that they don't have any say-so over. Kids are in environments that they don't get to pick, that they don't choose. They don't have an option to move. They don't have an option to live in a different environment. They don't have an option to do something else. And we give them that couple of hours a week of light, of hope, of showing them that there is more out there, that there is something different.
I think across the board we find that a lot of these children don't eat well and don't eat hot breakfast. One Sunday morning, the bus showed up at one of the apartment complexes, and a woman came out, and she was dressed in her bathrobe, and she came out and she said, "I want to talk to the people that do the breakfast." And she said, "Well, they're at the church." And she started to cry, and she said, "I just want to thank you for making breakfast." She said, "It's the one day a week." She said, I have a hard time feeding my family." She said, "It's the one day a week that I know my kids are going to eat hot food." She said, "In fact, I have made them get up and go to church sometimes when they didn't want to go to Sunday school because I knew they would be able to eat when they got there."
They're dealing with abuse, they're dealing with pain, they're dealing with rejection, they're dealing with all kinds of things that no one is showing them love in the midst of it all. And no one else is giving them hope. But I have the greatest hope of all, and I can give that to them. And that even if they're not receiving the Holy Ghost tonight, and even if they're not becoming a member of our church right now, maybe they're 7 years old, when they're in those dark, scary moments, they remember that somebody loved me, somebody cared about me.
There's a young boy who came up to Gene Lewis. He said, "I wish you were my dad." And that kid needs a dad. He just needs a father figure. He just needs somebody to emulate, somebody to look up to. And if you just love these kids and just genuinely love them, just care about them, you don't have to spend a ton of time with them, you spend a little bit of time with them, they eat it up because they need it. They are not getting their needs met emotionally or spiritually. And if you can attach with them emotionally, then God can attach to them spiritually. And that's how I think it works.
My first number is, God, I want to feed 500 kids a week. That's what I want to do. And then my ultimate number is that I want to be feeding 1,500 kids a week. That's what I want. God only gives you so much as you can handle. And so as you can see here, we cook out of 2 electric frying pans that we bought at Walmart. And we cook off of 2, sometimes 3 electric griddles, and that's what we feed all these kids with.
If we're in a van, we need a driver and we need a helper. We don't have enough people for that. Even if we get the drivers, we don't necessarily have the people to watch them. We're dealing with old buses and old vans, so then we have breakdowns all the time. He sent us, He anointed us. So what are you doing? He sent you, He sent me. Find a way to fulfill that mandate, to fulfill that calling that He's given to all of us.